I remember just, you know, sitting in my bedroom closet in the dark and sobbing and sobbing.
No one ever tells you how hard it is to be an Asian mom and how you always are trying to be perfect.
Welcome. In this video today, we'll define the supermom myth, learn why it's even harder for us Asian moms, and learn 3 ways in which we can combat the supermom myth and learn to embrace our imperfections. I'm Sandra Vu. I'm so excited for you to be here on the very first episode of Imperfect Asian Mom. This is a channel where I hope to discuss topics of parenting, self care, and the challenges of raising Asian teens and young adults in the United States as an immigrant or an Asian mom. About me, I have been an attorney, an immigration and family law attorney for 20 plus years. I have also a background in professional training in the topics of communications and work life balance. Most importantly, however, I am a mother of three, a really proud mother of three, and my last one just went off to college. And yes, empty nester. I want this channel to be a space for moms to share tips, ideas, and lessons on parenting, to make the parenting journey a little bit easier. So let's get started right away. What is it? What is a super mom? And when I think about a super mom, I think about someone who does something just effortlessly and perfectly. She's the superhero. She is so strong. She's a great mom. She's a great wife. She's a great daughter. She's a wonderful daughter in law. She's a great employee or entrepreneur or businesswoman. She is everything to everyone, and she does everything, without a sweat. My goodness. These are a lot of unrealistic expectations, right? And of course, you're going to feel overwhelmed by that. And it's going to be too much. But you know what? In addition to those unrealistic expectations, we as Asian mothers even feel more stressors. For example, the first one is this cultural expectation of high academic achievement. We as Asians live in a culture where it almost how well our kids do equate to how well we are as parents. Do you feel like that sometimes? I certainly do, and I certainly have. I remember when my daughter was taking a test to get into a gifted program, and when she did not meet the level, the cutoff, I went home that day and thought to myself, what am I doing wrong? Why can she not meet that level? Am I not being a good mother? So we have that one stressor. What's another stressor? I think the other stressor is having this just perfect, ideal family where you have a perfect marriage, where, you know, divorce is still a taboo, and your kids are getting great grades. They don't misbehave. They don't have any problems. They don't have any mental health issues. Everything is under the rug because it's all about what? Saving the face. You only want to tell people the good stuff. You never want to share things that are vulnerable and difficult in your family. So, as moms, we have to put on this, like, I almost feel like it's a fakeness, right? Of things are just so well, things are so good. So, those unrealistic expectations of mom, then you add the cultural expectations. Of course, things are going to be difficult for us Asian moms, and it's harder for us to break free of that. And how? But we do need to break free of it. How do we break free of that? There are 3 ways in which has helped me. So, very first one is learning to accept that I have limits. Um, and that's pretty hard for me because I am a pretty, I would say, not quite type A, but I'm someone who has very high expectations of myself. I learned along the way that I have to accept and learn that I have limits. And you know where that happened when that was it's too much where that line got crossed for me is when I had my third child. And I remember just, you know, sitting in my bedroom closet in the dark and sobbing, where I couldn't stop for a good 15 minutes. I just cried and cried because I had just delivered and I had just gone back to work. I just dropped off in that morning 3 kids at 3 different places, and I felt overwhelmed. I just felt overwhelmed. This was just way too much. And I remember that picture in my head because that reminds me that, hey, you got limits, girl. You have limits. And so I want you to also know that there's 24 hours in a day. You only have so much energy. And no matter how good you are at different things, multitasking, balancing things, you have limits. Acknowledge that. And number two, give yourself some grace. Just be kinder to yourself. Know that you, as a mom, you're going to make mistakes for sure. And I'm someone who reads a lot of parenting books. I work really hard in trying to figure out how to be a best mom. And I'm constantly, still making mistakes. Even to this day, my daughter, who's now in college, she says to me, Mom, do you remember that one time when I said something disrespectful to you and you made me write 1,000 times that I was sorry? And I'm still so mad to this day that you did that because you really didn't hear me out. As someone who works in the communication field, someone who reads parenting books, someone who trains about how to have a dialogue, and here I am, I'm not having a dialogue or conversation with my own daughter. So it is a learning thing, and you and I and all mothers, we just all need to be kinder to ourselves and know that we can make mistakes and that we have to learn from our mistakes. Number three is this one is a really hard one. No comparison. Learn to not compare yourself to others. How do we actually do that in this society where there's social media, where, especially in our Asian culture, it's even worse when our we gather as families and friends. There's always that comparison. You know what I'm talking about, right? Oh, what schools are your kids going to? What are their grades? What job are they in? How much money are they making? And there's the comparison of the car, the house, the purses, and of course the physical comparison. You're too fat, you're too skinny, you're not pretty enough, etc., etc. In our culture there is so much comparison, and it's hard. And I know myself that I am very hard on myself when I see my friends that are taking their kids to Europe and to Japan and to, experience all these places. And I'm thinking to my head, you're not doing that. Are you not being a good mom? Or are you not giving your kids enough? And I have to then kind of rein myself in and say to myself, what is the most important thing to me? What's the important thing to my family? And what is it that I want and are, am able to right now give my kids? And I think that it is really hard for us as moms not to compare. And when we compare, we always feel like we come up short. in some way. So don't compare yourself. Understand that you have your own gifts, you have your own strengths, and that there is so much of you, so much love in you that you're going to do your very best to give what you have to your children and to your family. So learn that you're enough. In conclusion, if you are a tired, frustrated, and especially overwhelmed mom, I want you to know that it is okay, okay to let that supermom myth go. Break it free. And how do you do that? You do that by acknowledging that you have limits, that you need to give yourself additional grace and kindness and love, and to learn not to compare yourself to others. Know that you are enough. I want you to know that in your imperfections, you are perfect. You are perfect when you try. You are perfect when you win, and you are perfect when you learn. That's part of the parenting journey. If you like what you're hearing, I want you to hit the like button and subscribe. I also want to ask you to help me by commenting and sharing what are you doing? What other things are you doing to combat the supermom myth? Share your ideas, your thoughts with other moms. I want for this to be a community so that we can all learn and grow together. I'm an imperfect Asian mom. I admit it. And I am embracing my imperfections. I hope you are too. See you next time. Bye bye.